welcome to another straight talk, no sugar coated episode of From Dirt We Grow. I'm your host, Stephanie Kendall, and I would be remiss if I don't remind each of you to hook a girl up with the LSB. Like, subscribe, and bell. And thank you for tuning in as we focus on an issue so encompassing, it has a show all to itself. We're talking about the ridiculous and inaccurate system of the credit fiasco. Given the power our credit score has over such important life altering factors, you would think, at the very least, it would be designed as an accurate measure of one's creditworthiness. However, per usual, the whole structure of this credit program is completely unfair, inaccurate, flawed, and surprise, greed driven. So let's break it down, dissecting each moving part for a better understanding of what we're looking at here. And let's also point out, for the sake of pointing it out, that we have no option as to whether or not we want to participate in the whole credit game of chance. The entire hatched up plot is just another example of how greed has taken over integrity and the whole ideal of upholding the entire population's chances to enjoy their quality of life rather than having to fight daily just to maintain it. There's no choice but to play the game, and it's only played by their rules. First, you have to have credit to get credit, but it's almost impossible to get credit unless you have it. And then once you do have it, you have to use it, but not too much and not too little. You have to pay your bills on time, but not too much and not too little. You can't buy a house, a car, rent an apartment, get a loan, or even in some cases get a job without the proper score. However, just applying for credit hurts your score. Getting sick hurts your score. Paying off a loan early or late hurts your score. Having too many open credit accounts hurts your score. But not having enough also, guess what, hurts your score. And if your score is considered low, but you find a lender, they're going to rape you with the interest rates they offer on the loan. Again, taking advantage of your situation to maximize their profit. The credit bureaus are like children. They throw tantrums for the smallest incidents and never are really satisfied. And once again, this twisted operation with its ties to government through contracts that ensure the big banks and corporations get taxpayer-funded safety nets is another trap that is only beneficial to the wealthy. Now, let's take a look at the inaccuracies of this credit reporting and how they provide a false representation of us as borrowers. So we've already established that no one is exempt from credit funhouse. So the vast scale of data they track is alone a major factor in errors. Each major bureau maintains over 200 million files, with more than a billion updates monthly, as found on brookings.edu. So mistakes are inevitable. An FTC study on consumerfinance.gov revealed that 1 in 5 consumers had an error on at least one of their reports. And according to advocacy.consumerreports.org, 44% of participants found report errors, with 27% being mistakes in account info, such as unrecognized accounts or false reports of late or missed payments. These mistakes are huge impactors of one's score. And the process of getting the necessary corrections made and the score to reflect those corrections is no walk in the park. It takes months. It also takes money, in most cases, to access your reports and more money to hire a company to fix the reports because, let's be real, not many of us have any kind of training or education in the whole credit realm before we're thrown into adulting. Also contributing to the lack of accuracy is what is or isn't reported to these credit bureaus. I mean, rent or mortgage, utilities, subscriptions, and other real life financial behaviors often don't get reported or counted towards building credit. Although I have noticed that this oversight in the system has slowly and very recently been getting integrated into existence. So we've got that going for us, I guess. All right, so what do I propose as some logical solutions, you may ask? Because I've got some suggestions in mind. First thing would be to educate people on a topic that has so much impact and control on the biggest decisions of our lives. In the last episode, I mentioned how schools should implement courses that teach relevant real life skills, one of them being financial literacy. Another good solution may be to end corporate bailouts without protections for the consumer. If banks take taxpayer money, they should be required to offer fair lending practices and low interest rates. Also, putting a cap on them things would be a smart thing to do. Predatory interest rates, higher interest rates placed on what they call high risk borrowers based on an arbitrary number given to them by greed fueled scam artists that specifies them unfairly and inaccurately. It just doesn't make sense. How do they think that making someone who is coming to them for money pay more money in interest, and they think that's a good way to ensure that their loan gets paid back? I mean, it's kind of like trying to milk a cow that's already a hamburger. I think I just don't see it making sense. But honestly, the way I see it, credit and background checks are a form of discrimination, and they should be completely revamped and only used in certain circumstances, and not in the circumstance of using it as a weapon against someone trying to improve their lives by seeking housing, transportation, jobs, etc. All right, so long story short, it's yet another system designed for government and corporate profit and not for the benefit of society. I don't know about y'all, but I see a pattern. And until drastic measures are taken to make changes, and by changes, I mean bringing in the wrecking ball and rebuilding from the ground up, we're stuck playing the game that was never meant for us to win. Well, I sincerely hope that some of my points of my content resonates with you. And as always, I welcome your comments and thoughts. Please let me know if there's a topic that you would like to see addressed in the show. And don't forget to share. Hit me with the LSB and join me next week for peek into, well, let's call it what it is, the unjustice system of our nation. I thank you for being here. As always, I am Stephanie Kendall. This is From Dirt We Grow. See you next Tuesday.